I'm here in Broadcast Depot. I'm Marco from AxelTech. Today I want to show you our solution for logging, 24/7 logging. It's called DML Logger, Digital Media Logger, and it's used by radio stations and TV stations around the world to record their own programs 24/7 for a long period of time. Usually it's 2 months or 3 months according to law obligation. Usually in every country around the world, TV stations and radio stations are obliged to record their own programs for a long number, for a big number of days, a long time, usually 90 days. But not only, the system can be used also by advertisement agencies that need to record the radios or the TV stations where they promote their own customers, so they need to check if the advertisements go on air. And also by, let's say, national agencies which are in charge of controlling and checking the radio and private radios and TV stations, and they also want to record a large number of channels. So the solution is a Windows-based solution. I have my Windows computer here, and as you see in this application, I'm actually recording and capturing 4 TV signals at one time. This also shows you that we can have, on a single computer, we can have multiple recordings, both audio and video. Let's say that the limit of the recordings depend only on system resources, so CPU, and the quantity of hard disk which are installed in the system. We are compatible also with Blackmagic Decklink cards. So if you get like a Blackmagic Quad 2, it will give you 8 SDI inputs. So that's kind of nice. But we also can use off-the-shelf tuner boards, which means that I'll show you directly in the application. I'm going to stop one channel recording, go in the configuration, and as you see, I have DVB-T, DVB-S, DVB-C, and ATSC boards. So this means I can connect the antenna directly to the card, and the tuner will do the decoding for me. We also have some, let's say, legacy boards which are still compatible with old TV analog signals. For the radio, we have different choices, and there are many tuner cards which have FM or AM possibility with multiple channels inside. Or we can just use a normal multi-channel audio card, a USB or a PCIe inside, and record multiple audios for the radio logging. In this case, I'm actually getting my video from an IP stream, so it's a RTMP stream. I'm actually creating the streams myself and then decoding the streams with the logger. Then, after we've chosen our video device, we just need to choose our file format. In this case, I have AVI, ASF, which is a Windows Media Video, MPEG-1 or 2, MPEG-4, and Flash Media Video. The MPEG-4 is the most used nowadays. It's a H.264 codec with AAC. When we're recording in audio mode, I can choose between MP3 or WAV format. Another important feature is segmentation. Since we are recording for a large number of days and we are deleting the oldest material, so it's a continuous recording, the recording must be segmented into files. And here you choose how often you want to segment it. Usually the recording is a 1-hour recording, and the important thing, the interesting thing is that when we switch from one file to the other, we actually never lose not even one frame of video in between. So it's a true compliance recording. Then, once you define the system recording, I have a statistic, let me go on the bottom one, which is actually recording, a statistic page which actually is telling me at the current data rate, at the current bit rate, with the current quality, and the current size of the hard disk, I can fit 356 days on the recording. So you see, we can customize, and I have almost a year inside of recordings inside. And I get a lot of statistics which tell me if I'm actually capturing, if I have dropped frames, or I have any type of, let's say, anomalies during the recording. Usually on these systems, we put 2 pairs of hard disks, or better, let's say we configure the hard disk in like a mirror system in order that if you have any problems on a hard disk, you don't lose the recordings because we're actually, let's say, copying them to a second position. Another important thing is we have alarm settings. So I can define actually the number of days that I want, minimum and maximum. I can define a video threshold as far as luminosity, an audio threshold, and some other parameters. And these parameters are used for the alarm notification. So whenever I have missing video, freeze of video, missing audio, or some problems with the data rate and the stream of data, which is actually being recorded on the hard disk, I'll be notified. And I can be notified through email, for example, with an SMS, or I can actually command an external device with a batch command, and this is sometimes used for redundancy operations. So I can send a signal to a routing switcher when I have an issue on my playout and actually use the system as a changeover. Okay, so another nice important thing is the video actually that you see here. Let me do this just a second. Okay, I have it now. Okay, onto the video we see this date and this time with the name of the channel. This is actually a timestamp which is burnt into the video. So this means that in the recording you will find that time information. The time can be synchronized with a small GPS receiver that we sell as an option, or you can connect the system to the internet and get your time synchronization directly from the internet. The file being created is a very, very normal video file, and this is kind of a pro because actually these files are MP4 files that can be edited in Adobe Premiere or imported in an external third-party software, so it's not a proprietary format, and this is a good thing. Since this machine is usually a machine which is, let me go like this, okay, and like this, okay, there you go. This machine is usually a blind machine which is positioned in a technical room, and simply it captures and records continuously. So nobody actually ever looks at the machine in real time. There's no need to keep the GUI on a desktop. So for this reason we have a small web server inside which generates a page for the DML monitor application. So from any computer, also from outside, you can actually see the status of your recorders. For example, I have an error on the first one since it's in stop mode. I press the stop button myself, so the system is actually telling me, and if I want I can have a look at the logs and I can actually see what happened, and of course the user pressed some buttons and stopped the recording. Okay. Probably one of the nicest applications that we give with the system is the DML player. I want to show you. This is a free application for Windows, and you can install it on any computer connected to the LAN, maybe in your office. And it allows you to see and browse the recordings and actually interact with your system directly through the LAN. So what I do with the DML recorder, I just select a video channel, and as you see I have a calendar application. I just started the recording, so I just have a couple of hours of recording. Actually, in a normal system you will see all the days and all the hours being green. This means that you have a recording in that exact point. So I'm going to load the 12 o'clock recording right now, and I'll be able to see it directly on the screen. And as you see, I have a timestamp on top with some view meters that show me the audio as well, which is always interesting. I can position myself inside the recording. I can actually jump to a specific date and time. So I'm going to jump 1 minute ahead, and the system automatically actually positions itself. There it is, come on. Okay, there it is. And what I can do is actually define mark in and mark out points for segments that I want to extract. So in this case, I'm going to extract a segment directly to the desktop. I'm going to call it test 2. And the system will extract that segment exactly in the same format it was recorded. It's actually a very fast export, so a couple of hours can be actually exported in just a couple of minutes because no transcoding is involved. And as you see, I have my file directly on the desktop. If I double click on the file, it can be opened by any applications like this Windows Media Player that they supply with Windows 10. There's another nice extraction, or better, conversion that can be done, and this is what we call the lazy man conversion. I just put the name of the file, and in this case, let's say I want to create a QuickTime, so I just call it MOV, M-O-V. This tells the system the format that I want to convert in, and MOV is already being converted. If you want to convert to a specific format using specific parameters, you can do this with our timeline converter, which is kind of interesting, in which we have many profiles you can choose from. And if you want, you can create your own profile where you have practically every known codec, a list of codecs. These are the video codecs. These are the audio codecs, so you have a lot. And you can create your own profile to actually do the conversion. So as you see, the DML is a very easy and straightforward system that allows you to capture your media, keep the media for a long period of time. Actually, you can capture in low quality, but you can actually capture in high quality, so HD, for example, and keep the recordings for a less number of days and use those HD recordings for rebroadcast. I have TV stations which record from the major news stations, and they keep the recordings for a week, so when they need some movie or some images regarding a specific news, they can reuse those images and edit them directly in their own stories of their own news. So also for rebroadcasting, the 24/7 machine can achieve broadcast quality capture. And thank you very much.